Kaieteur Radio, keeping you informed.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Burby's 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Good evening and welcome to this evening's newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio. I am Kevin Smith. Let's get to the news in detail. Darshanand Kusial of the Oil and Gas Governance Network has hailed the recent ruling of the High Court on the legal duration for ExxonMobil's Liza Phase 1 permit as a good step and an indication that Guyanese can make real positive changes. The challenge was brought against the environmental permit by former president of Transparency Institute Guyana, Dr. Troy Thomas, as the permit granted several years ago for the duration of 24 hours when the law only allows for 5. Meanwhile, the yellowtail 2 and red-tail discoveries, which were made in July and September, respectively, have pushed Guyana's recoverable estimate to approximately 9 billion oil-equivalent resources. In light of this, Guyana is now the largest new conventional liquids play in the last decade, so said Senior Vice President at ExxonMobil, Jack Williams. In other news, NISL CEO Colvin Heath London was yesterday sent packing with immediate effect, thereby bringing an end to his 2-year employment under the agency. In a letter to Heath London from the Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Anil Nandlal, it was stated that the NISL head had failed to protect the best interest of the agency, thereby costing the government to lose billions in investment. And moving on, lawyers arguing on behalf of Bibi Sharima Gopal and her former lover, Jarvis Small, have raised contentions over what they term as prejudicial evidence led in the trial against the duo convicted for the murder of Nisa Gopal. Bibi Gopal and Small have been notoriously linked to the gruesome killing of the 15-year-old Queen's College student whose partially decomposed body was found in a suitcase submerged in a creek along the Linden-Susdike Highway. In other news, Raman Gaskin says that a judicial review of the PSA governing ExxonMobil's Stabroek Block operations is necessary and that he is still hopeful that it could happen. Gaskin had first advocated for a judicial review of the controversial 2016 agreement late last year, after identifying a series of provisions he determined to be illegal. Gaskin is of the view that once the court determines certain provisions to be in conflict with the law, it can strike them down and force ExxonMobil to come to the table to renegotiate those specific clauses. The contract was signed by former Minister of Natural Resources, Raffle Trotman. In other news, a 35-year-old man, Kamal Wilson, who was on Monday ambushed and chopped to death by his own relative at Kwabana Village, Northwest District, have died from hemorrhage and shock due to multiple incised wounds. This was confirmed on Thursday by government pathologist Dr. Nihal Singh. According to a police report, the incident occurred at around 19 hours 30. It is unclear as to why the suspect would want to murder Wilson, since the two reportedly never had any grievances prior to the incident. In other news, Canadian High Commissioner Lillian Chatterjee has been appointed as the new High Commissioner of Barbados. This announcement was made yesterday by Canadian Foreign Minister François-Philippe Champagne. Several other new diplomatic appointments were also made during the announcement. Chatterjee was accredited as Canadian High Commissioner to Guyana in September 2017. And that brings us to the end of this evening's nightly newscast. I am Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.